Welcome to Chanan Academy. In today's class, we are going to be talking about deductive proof part 2. So please, if you've not watched our previous video, do well to go and watch that, because in the part 1 we covered the basics of deductive proof. So in this part, we are going to concentrate on geometry proof involving angles. So the first thing we are going to talk about is geometry facts. For you to understand geometry proof involving angles, you must understand some key facts about geometry, and some of those key facts is what we are going to be discussing first, and then we'll take some example. All right, so the first key fact we must take note of: number 1, straight line. The sum of angle in a straight line is 180 degree. Now take note of that. The sum of angle in a straight line is 180 degree. Now suppose we have, now look at this, A plus B plus C, they are all in a straight line, so they are equal to 180. So that's what that fact is saying. Also, A plus B plus E are also in a straight line, so they are equal to 180. And if you check very well, C plus D are also in a straight line, that's 180 degree. They are all in degrees. Okay, so that's the first fact we need to know. So let's check the second fact. The next fact we are going to talk about is that the sum of angle at a point is 360 degree. Now if you see this angle, you see that all of them, A, B, C and D, are all angle at a point. Now this is the point. So from this fact, angle A plus B plus C plus D plus E all sum up to 360 degree. So that's what this fact is saying. All right, let's check the next one. The next fact says that vertically opposite angles are equal. Now look at this angle. This is angle A and this is angle C. See, they are vertically opposite, so they are equal. Angle A is equal to angle C. Now look at this angle B and this E and D. So it means that angle B is equal to angle E plus D. So we are going to have angle B is equal to angle D plus angle E. So that's what the vertically opposite angle is saying. All right, so let's check the next one. It's the corresponding angle. So the corresponding angle are equal. That's what it says. Before I talk about the corresponding angle, let me quickly talk about parallel lines and transverse line. So now, parallel lines are lines that do not meet. They keep going. Examples of these parallel lines are this particular line, this one moving towards the right hand, and this other one. There are two parallel lines. They don't meet. So this line and this line are parallel. So the two lines are parallel. And then this middle line that cuts the two of them is known as the transversal line. Okay? So now, having known this, the corresponding angle says that two angles that are corresponding are equal. So what does the corresponding mean? It simply means, now, if you see this angle Y is equal to angle X, because it's occupying the same space as of the second parallel line. So also this angle A is also equal to angle B. So that's what a corresponding line is saying. So it means that angle X is equal to angle Y, corresponding angle, and then angle A is also equal to angle B. So that is what the corresponding angle is saying. Please take note of all these facts, because these are what you're going to need to prove geometry angles. All right, so let's check the next one. All right, so the next fact we're going to talk about is the alternate angles. So the alternate angles are equal. So look at it. Alternate angle in this case is angle A and angle Y. Both angles are within the two parallel line, but on a different side. So it means angle B and angle X are equal. That is what alternate angle is talking about. So it means that angle A is equal to angle Y, and then angle B is equal to angle X. So both of them are within the two parallel line, but on the opposite side of the transverse line. So this is angle A is alternate to Y, angle B is alternate to X. All right, so let's check the next one. So the next we are going to talk about is that the sum of interior opposite angle is 180. Now look at it. This is the parallel line, and this is also a parallel line. This is a transverse line that splits the two parallel line. What this fact is saying is that angle A plus angle X is equal to 180 degree. Now this is actually as a result of the previous fact, because if alternate angle are equal, A is equal to Y from the alternate angle, and then X plus Y, which is angle on a straight line, is equal to 180. That's the sum of angle on a straight line is equal to 180. Is equal to 180. It simply means that since A is equal to Y, if we substitute A equal to Y, it also means that X plus A is equal to 180 degree. So that's why this is saying that the sum of interior opposite angle is equal to 180. All right. Once again, please take note of all these facts. Understanding how to write angles. All right, this fact is very important because most students miss it. They really do not understand how to write angle or what angle actually means. All right, so let's talk about this. Look at this. Angle A. Angle A can be written in three ways. First, it can be written as B angle AC. Now, this also means angle A. So if you're asked to find B angle AC, it means they are looking for angle A. In other words, if I want to write angle B, I can say A, B, C, put an inverted V on top. It also means angle B. Now, if you don't want to write it like that, it can also be written as angle A, B, C is the same thing as angle B. So you can do the same for angle A, C, B. Whichever way you change the letter in the middle is the angle. You can say it is B, C, A. Both of them means the same thing. And this is also equal to angle C. Now, you can also write it like this. If I want to find angle, you just write it as A. This also means angle A. Or you can put B, also angle B. Or just C, which also means angle C. So I hope you understand how to write this angle, because we are going to go straight to answer some questions now. So I would advise that you pause the video or take the video backward, watch again, and then you go straight to the questions. So you're going to take some questions now. All right. So the first question we are going to solve says, given any triangle ABC with line BC produced to X, prove that angle C is equal to angle A plus B. All right. So let me quickly just talk about this and this. So whenever you see this, it simply means triangle A, B, and C. And whenever you see a line at the top of two letters, specifically uppercase letter, it simply means line of whatever letter that is below it. So in this case, it is line BC. All right, so let's go straight to the question. What we are going to do is to draw a triangle first and label it A, B, and C. So the question says that line BC, and this is line BC, line B to C, produced X. So we are going to extend this line BC a little bit forward so we can have X. All right, so we've drawn this. We are asked to prove that angle ACX is equal to angle A plus B. All right, so let's try to label the angle. So this is what we have. We've tried to label everything. Now take note that angle A is same thing as angle A. B is the same thing as C1 is the same thing as angle ACB. And C2 is the same thing as angle ACX. Alright, because we are going to work with angle A, B, C1, and C2. And at the end, we'll substitute what they have. Because we are using deductive proof, and using deductive proof, we can get our reasons from theorem, postulates, property, or known fact. What's the first fact we know about this? In the sum of angle of a triangle is 180. So let's do that. So it means that A plus B C1 is equal to 180 degree. So this is our reason. So the next known fact is that these two angles, angle C1 and C2, they are on a straight line. An angle on a straight line also sum up to 180. So let's do that. So we have that C1 plus C2 is equal to 180 degree. So we also put our reason. All right. Now look at this closely. If A plus B plus C1 equal 180 and C1 plus C2 equal 180, it then means that A plus B plus C1 is equal to C1 plus C2. So it means that A plus B plus C1 is equal to C1 plus C2, because 180 is equal to 180 and the both sides are equal to 180. And the reason for this is the transitive property. Alright, we've talked about the transitive property in the part 1, so if you've not watched that, so please do well to go and watch that video. Okay, so now let's take like terms together. So it becomes A plus B equal C1 plus C2 minus C1. And that's because if this C1 crosses over to this side, it becomes negative. Okay, so we are going to have A plus B equal to, the C1 is going to cancel out this C1, and we are going to be left with C2. Now, do not forget what we said earlier. We said A is angle A plus, and B is angle B, and C2 is angle ACX. Now, this has proven our question. So let's go back and check the question properly. So the question says we should prove that angle ACX is equal to angle A plus B. Now, look at this. Now, you might want to say that, but the angle ACX is at the right hand side. From the question, they want it to be at the left hand. All right, so we can actually do that. We can just quickly do this. Angle ACX is equal to angle A plus angle B. The justification for us to take it to the left hand side is known as the symmetric property. Now, we also talked about this in the previous video, so please go and watch that. At this point, we've proven that angle ACX is equal to angle A plus angle B. Okay, so we are going to take another question. Example 2. Given an angle A, B, and C, line BC produced to a point X and line CP is parallel to line BA. Prove that the summation of angle A, B, and C is equal to 180. So I want you to pause this video, try to draw the triangle, try to draw and see if you get it, and then continue. Okay, so let's draw first. Okay, line BC produced to a point X, so we extend line BC. So this is X. All right, and we are told that line CP is parallel to line BA. So what that means is that line BA is parallel. So let's make it parallel. I hope you have not forgotten parallel line. They don't meet. So where are we going to put line CP? So it means that the line is going to start from C and then go parallel to BA. So we know that the line is going to start from this point, then go like this, because it's a parallel line. Okay, so this is a parallel line, and we're going to call this P. So this is what we have. So let's label. Alright, so we have angle A, B, C1, C2, and C3. Okay, so for us to be able to prove this, look at it very well. What do we do? Look at it very well. So what's the first thing we should do? Now, we know that parallel line has no ending. They are just going. So let's try to extend the two parallel line. So let's extend this parallel line. Let's take it a bit down. And let's take this one down. Okay, now if you take the two lines down and you look at it closely, you realize that angle A is alternate to angle C2. Look at it closely. They are drawing the Z line, no? So that's how the alternate is. So angle A is equal to C2. So let's write that down. So angle A is equal to C2. Take note of that. Alright, so look closely again. You also see that angle B is corresponding to angle C3. Alright, so we'll write that down. Angle B is equal to C3. Now, since we know those two, and then there is a property that we know that C1 plus C2 plus C3 is equal to 180, and the reason is because angle on a straight line. So let's start. So C1 plus C2 plus C3 is equal to 180. degree. This is because sum of angle. Alright, so then it becomes C is going to be equal to C1 plus, now C2 is equal to A, so we'll put A, plus C3 is equal to B, so we'll put B, equal to 180 degree. Now, don't forget, let's go back up. So don't forget that angle A is equal to A, and angle B is equal to angle B, and angle C1 is equal to angle C. Alright, so let's substitute that. If we do that, we are going to have that angle C1 will become angle C plus angle A plus angle B, which is equal to 180 degree. So it's the same thing when you rearrange, you just have A plus angle B plus angle C equal to 180 degree. And this has been proved. Alright, so we've come to the end of the class. Thank you for watching till this time. Please do not forget to subscribe. Bye for now.